Phonics Hero comes in two orders of sounds: letters and sounds, and playing with sounds. The first thing to do when you're deciding about which order of sounds to use when you're using Phonics Hero is to think about what you're doing in school. Have a look at your scope and sequence. What order are the sounds taught in? If you're doing letters and sounds, well, the obvious choice would be letters and sounds. But if you're not, if you're doing another programme, have a look at the orders of sounds, check out this page and see which one most closely resembles your order of sounds. Then choose that. If you're not following a set order of sounds in your school, well, the first thing we'd recommend doing is following one. You'll really see the benefits to children's reading and spelling skills if you have a set order and only use sounds which use already learnt sounds. So you can download a PDF of the order here from our website, when we really recommend you following an order. If you're looking at which one to follow, we recommend what's called playing with sounds. And we like the playing with sounds order because it's got the most simple to complex logic. It really eases children in to the more complex logic of the English language. Let me explain how we do that. So here in level 1, here's the first 8 sounds we're going to learn. And we're going to learn that that this letter can represent s, m, k, and so forth. One letter representing a sound. These are the alphabet sounds. They are the ones that children will have likely have come across in their preschool learning. It's the simple logic of a letter representing a sound. Carry on with level 2, carry on with level 3. Level 4, we get a little bit more complicated in that 2 letters can represent a sound. So in this example, we've already learnt s up here in level 1, but we're learning that in some words, it can have 2 letters representing the sound. It's not s, s or a really long s. It's the same sound represented by 2 letters. So we're just easing them in, getting a little bit more complicated. Then we make the next step change, learning about digraphs, where 2 letters come together to make something new. When this letter and this letter come together, it doesn't make s, h, it makes something new, sh. So we're going to introduce the 4 double letter choices there. We're going to finish off the alphabet with qu and x. You'll see q and u are together because they're never spelt, there's never any words where q's on its own. We're going to do an extra 2 digraphs with the ck and the n. Then in part 2, we are going to move on to words which have a different spelling pattern. So in part 1, we'll have done lots of words where it's a consonant, vowel, consonant spelling pattern. Now we're going to move on to vowel, consonant, consonant, like ant, consonant, consonant, vowel, consonant, like stop, and so forth, just gradually easing them in again. Next, we're going to look at alternative spellings for a phoneme. So the E sound can be spelt double E, like in the word bumblebee, EA, like in the word beach, Y, like in the word baby, and E on its own, like she or he. This is really where you see children's spelling take off, when they start to understand that a decision has to be made about which spelling choice to use. We carry on with the I sound, the O sound, the A sound, and the U sound. And then in part 3 of Phonics Hero, we carry on with this logic. We've already learnt r up in part 1 of Phonics Hero. We're just learning about the different spelling choices from that. We'll introduce some new phonemes like the oi, that's never been taught, and the alternative spellings for it, carrying on right through till they get to some really chunky words using the j sound, like confusion, collision. So teaching all the different spelling choices for those words. So hopefully that gives you some understanding about our orders of sounds and how to make a decision about which one to use for your school. Enjoy!